Good morning and welcome to this August 25th version of From Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. We're going to spend a couple of days now in Matthew 9 and see what Matthew 9 has to say to us. I think it's important for us to remember as we go into this chapter that even Jesus' healings were offensive. It wasn't just some of the words he did, but even some of his healings were offensive. We saw how that happened in the last version of this when he sent the demons into the swineherd. Today, he in Matthew 9, 2 through 8, he heals a paralytic, and this becomes offensive to the scribes because Jesus forgives, and the scribes say that only God can forgive. So here we're beginning to see not only Jesus' healing act being offensive, but his healing words being offensive. The scribes think that only God can heal. Not only that, he calls a tax collector into his fold, and that was offensive because Jesus says he is called come to call sinners. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, he says. And it's a funny thing about how religious people get sometimes. We believe that our mission and purpose is to get holy, stay holy, and exclude anybody else from ever being holy. I don't think so. I think we're called just like Christ is calling to help people to become a part of the kingdom. I believe that the point made here is that sinners are not to be excluded from Jesus' mission any more than saints are to be included just because their names are on the roll book of a church. It's a very powerful message for us to think about. How do we reach the sinner? I think one of the main ways we do that, and later on when we're talking about Paul's letter to the Romans, I'll say some more about that. But I think the way that we do that is by remembering that we all sin. We all fall short of God's glory. And when we can do that, then I think we really can get in touch with what this is all about. Now, here in chapter 9, beginning at verse 14, some of the disciples of John come to Jesus, and they're asking the question about the disciples not fasting. And Jesus' message here is to insist that the traditional ways that we celebrate salvation, while understood by many people to be a part of the joyous message of salvation story, when something new is unfolding right in front of your very eyes and you don't embrace it, well, that's kind of like putting an old patch on a new coat, or putting new wines in a container that you know is going to burst. When that happens, you know you're going to have a spilled mess that you've got to clean up. So when something is happening right in front of your eyes, the thing to do is to try to embrace it. The thing to do is to try to find out how can this continue to get the good word across to people, even in a very difficult time, rather than lamenting what was and all that sort of thing. Embrace what is and what can be. I want you to be thinking throughout the rest of the day how these stories can be heard in your life in a new and a refreshing way, and how we might embrace mercy rather than sacrifice. Because the truth is that we hear things all the time and see things all the time that are offensive to us, that anger us. So why not try to hear these as challenges and opportunities for our faith that will help us understand and appreciate salvation even more every day from sunrise to sunset.